have been already in touch with many of you through the Facebook group. And I'm here today to welcome you to Les Roches International School of Hotel Management. Congratulations for being accepted. I know it's quite a busy time of the year for you all. You will start university very soon. And we are here today to give you the last minute information you need to know to get ready for your first weeks on campus and also to respond to all your questions. So if you see on the right side of the screen, you have a couple of links to explore Les Roches campus and to follow us on Instagram and join the Facebook group. So you can click directly there and you will be redirected to this information. And also you have the chat box that I see that many of you are already using. So this chat box, it's meant for you to ask all the questions you have. During the presentation, we will probably won't interrupt it to reply to your questions, but we will wait at the end and we will allow a few minutes to respond to as many as we can. Okay, so let's start. So I would like to start by welcoming today our guest speaker, Abu Halim Al-Hidaki. Sorry if the pronunciation is not very well, but we can call him Halim. Much easier for all of us, I guess. So welcome, Halim. Thank you very much for joining us today from Kuwait. So you're enjoying a hot summer over there, I guess.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I mean, we're already getting fried over here, so we have to make this pretty short and concise so I don't end up burning in front of the camera.
Okay, so we'll try to make it short then. So Halim is coming from Syria. He's a Bachelor 7 student, so meaning that he will start his last semester this summer doing the specialization in entrepreneurship. So Halim, if you can very briefly, just for students to get to know a bit more about yourself, why hospitality, why Les Roches, and why entrepreneurship? Like what are your plans after graduation? Because you will graduate very soon.
Perfect. First of all, I'd like to say a very good afternoon for everyone, a good morning, a good evening to wherever you are in the world. My name is Abdel Halim Al-Hiraki. You can call me Halim as Karina stated for short. I come from Syria and I lived all my life in Kuwait, that's next to Saudi Arabia. Make it very concise and short. Why hospitality? Well, let me give you a straightforward answer. Well, I don't want to go to work every day expecting the same thing, seeing the same people. I want to change. I want a work that's going to be a bit more dynamic, a bit more fluctuating in terms of meeting people, in terms of maybe getting more experience, getting more exposure, and just having a less determined and less predictive day-to-day basis. And that's why I aim to pursue my degree in hospitality management. Why Les Roches? Les Roches offers the best degree of hospitality management in my perspective because it balances the grade from practical side and the academic side, where in the hospitality section and the industry really emphasize on the practical side than the academic side. And in Les Roches you get the good exposure during your internship and of course your stay on campus where you have an experience of practical side and the theory side. I pursue to earn my degree in entrepreneurship, specializing in entrepreneurship and hospitality management because I'm willing and my goal is to pursue an entrepreneurship goal where it's to establish a catering business or a restaurant in the near future, perhaps in 4 to 5 years.
Okay, thank you very much for this introduction, Halim. We will know a bit more about you during the presentation. And please, if you have any question that you want to address to him, take advantage of that. He has a lot of experience. He has been already 6 semesters with Les Roches and he has done his internship. So you can ask him anything you want about his first-hand experience. So what we are going to cover in today's session? We will start a little bit with life in Switzerland. Then we will see how it's life on campus, the campus facilities, the day-to-day life of any regular student. We'll talk about the arrival and check-in, all the things that you have to keep in mind for the dress code, for packing, and how to arrive to the campus on the official arrival days. And we'll finish by how to stay connected to Les Roches and how to start making friends before your arrival.
Perfect.
So, life in Switzerland. For those of you who haven't been in Switzerland yet, you may know that Switzerland is located in the center of Europe. It's very well known by its beautiful landscapes. The nature here is just amazing. The mountains, the transparent water of the lakes, the historical buildings, museums. There are many things going on. It's a very small country, but there are 4 official different languages. So you can listen, depending on which part of the country you go, Italian, French, German. There is another small language, it's called Romance, but it's spoken only in a very small part of Switzerland. Swiss and chocolate are the main, how to say it, pleasures here in Switzerland to eat, like the most traditional ones, but obviously the gastronomic offer is much wider than that. You will have the chance to try it when you are here. We also have many international companies. Even though it's a small country, we have international organizations such as the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, we have Nestle, we have Rolex for watchmaking, and well, many other international companies that you will discover also during your time on campus. And many things that if you visit Switzerland, you cannot experience as a person who lives here. So you will see that living as a student, it's not living as a tourist. So there are many small secrets that Switzerland keeps and you will discover by yourself. And I would like to ask Halim if you have something specific about Switzerland that caught his attention when coming here, because coming from the Middle East, it's a very high contrast compared to a country like Switzerland, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely, Caroline. I mean, you said it, the contrast is vast. It's very big. It's very big. You can't compare it. But I would say it's a great plus changing from the Middle East to Switzerland. I mean, I didn't really gain in trying to earn a hospitality degree, but I also tried to pursue a more life-changing skills or attributes, such as you said, the World International Organizations, the famous gastronomic restaurants, the breathtaking views, the mimic gadgets that they produce, such as the watches and the Swiss Army knife, and as well as living in Switzerland, I would like to say, really changed my life in the way that it made me more particular with the time. It made me more articulate with the people living around me, because living in Switzerland, you have to care about one another who's living next to you, in terms of if he's the person right next to you or if he's the person down the road, because everyone has their hearts with one another, and especially in Bluche, because it's in a tiny mountain, it's in a village where it's secluded from any other big city in Switzerland. So you get the good Swiss exposure that people really go in Switzerland to get. Rather than living in Geneva and Zurich, you might get the more international vibe rather than staying in Montana or in Bluche. You get the more specific and the pure Swiss vibe, I would say, and the atmosphere about Switzerland, which makes it very great and makes it very good to earn as well a hospitality degree, and as well as to change a bit of your personal attributes or behavior, I would say.
So I see that it was very easy for you to adapt to a new country.
Oh, yes, I would say so. I mean, if you traveled a lot in your past years, you visited Europe, Germany, I would say, is the closest country you could say in comparison to Switzerland. A lot of Western Europe is also quite similar, but if you traveled a lot, you didn't really stay in your home country. I mean, no one nowadays really stays back home. Everybody travels. I mean, the airplane is with access upon everyone. So there wasn't really much difficulty adapting to Switzerland, as just with the strict laws, I would say, about the noise and about the quietness and just the calmness and the steadiness that the Swiss people live, I would say. But I adapted to it pretty quickly because I believed in what they lived for, not really living in a more, I would say, quiet, like they live with harmony with one another, that would care and nurture with one another, rather than just living by yourself and just not caring about one another, but rather they would sit and know one another, even though you're just living on the same street. They would actually come and meet with one another and get to know and discuss. So for me, it wasn't really a big change, and as well, additional to the help of international students coming along with me. So people from around the world were coming there, and they were on the same boat. That, oh, Switzerland, middle of nowhere. No, it's not in a city. It's in a town. So we were all in the same boat, and we all helped one another to get along and to adapt to Bluche and to Les Roches itself. So it wasn't really a big vast change or difficulty, I would say.
And also it's a very good opportunity for you guys if you are interested in learning new languages. We are on the French part of Switzerland, so you can take advantage of that and learn or improve your French skills. Okay, I think someone is touching the chat box. Please don't spam it because otherwise we cannot see the presentation. Okay, so we go to the next slide. Life on campus. So here, some of you may have already visited the campus during a private visit or the open days, but for those of you who haven't been, this is an aerial view of the campus for you to get an idea of how it looks like before arriving. So this is the small village of Bluche. It's located in the Swiss Alps at almost 2,000 meters of altitude, which is very nice because you have almost 300 days of sunshine a day, which is really appreciated here in Switzerland, especially in winter when the temperatures are a bit low. It's very nice to have sunshine. You have stunning views of the mountain from there. And as you see, it's a small village, and all the school buildings are scattered through the village and mixed with local residences. And in number one, you have the main building. It's the biggest one on campus, and an outdoor swimming pool, very nice for now for summer. So you will be able to enjoy it when you arrive on campus. And then we have Petit Lagos, that is where students do their practical learning in housekeeping and front desk. And you have different residences in number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you have in number 9 the Café du Village. It's a small kind of fast food restaurant that we have on campus. In number 10, right in front of the main building, you have the Petit Paradis. It's the only hotel in Bluche, but you have many other hotels in Crans-Montana. So in this hotel, many students go after class to grab a drink, and also we have a special prices for students and for their families. So if someone wants to come to visit you, it's very convenient because it's right on the campus and they can stay over there. We also have a soccer field for those of you who like playing soccer or rugby. And we have the basketball court on number 12. There is a small chapel on the number 13. But if you are from other religions, you also have Crans-Montana and Sia, when you can go and look for churches or different temples. And on number 14, we have the funicular. The funicular is a small train that goes up and down the mountain. It will be the main mean of transport for you to go up to Crans-Montana or down to Sia, or to go to the train station to travel somewhere else in Switzerland. And also, I don't know if Halim wants to add something else about the residences.
I would just like to touch on for the first comers, of course, to Les Roches. I'm talking about HO1s or BBA1s, first semester students pursuing the bachelor's program. You would most probably be located in Peters Farms 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you can see here, Peters Farms 1, 2, 3, and 4 is number 6. So it's on the top right corner.
Exactly.
And 1 and 4 are for boys, 2 and 3 are for girls. Mm-hmm. So most probably you would be staying there for the first comers, first year students. Mm-hmm. You might get a chance, or you will maybe allocated in different dormitories across the campus, as you can see. Maybe in Taco, as you can see, Taco's number 4. Maybe in even the main campus, which is number 1. There's also dormitories there, but it's kind of separated from the building, but it's attached to it. Mm-hmm. For the MBA students or PGD students who are listening to me, you will be allocated in, I believe, in Rocaille, which is number 8, Résidence Le Rocaille, which is beneath the main campus. It's not that far away. It's not that walk. It's just a slight, steady uphill.
Everything is walking distance to the main building.
Everything is walking distance. The maximum time, like from the last corner of Cheminot to your classroom, is 10 minutes. I mean, I calculated it because sometimes I tend to arrive late to class, but 10 minutes is the furthest time you might live away. Apart from that is that every dormitory is for, there's secluded one for boys and one for girls, but you can also go to the, if you have friends as girls or friends as guys, you can go and visit their rooms and you can sit there. Lastly, I would just like to talk about as well is that they're also building other dormitories in the upcoming years. They're gonna build 2 more dormitories,
The accommodation facilities.
single room dormitories. So they're really working on that now. When you come next semester, you'll see the infrastructure that they started working upon it.
Okay,
But
sorry. I see Dominica's question. She's asking because she didn't catch what you said about the new bachelor students, in which buildings they might be allocated. Can you please clarify it?
yeah, no problem, no problem. Residents, Peters from 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the newcomers, you would most probably be staying there. Most of the rooms are double rooms, so you and a roommate would be staying there with a shared bathroom, of course, inside the room. And the newcomers for PGD or MBA students, who are the older students, they would be staying in number 8, which is Résidence Le Rocaille.
Okay, so Dominic, I hope that this replies to your question. Anyway, if you have more questions about accommodation, you can ask them later if they remain unanswered.
Oh yeah, definitely, Dominic. If you don't get it, just please type it and I would answer back to you.
Okay, so we go now to the next slide to move on with the presentation. So here you have some pictures of the campus facilities from inside. So on the left, you have the picture of our new marketplace. It's our buffet restaurant where all the main meals are offered. So you will have lunch, breakfast and dinner normally every day here. So it has been completely renovated last April, and as you see, it looks super nice. Then we have below the marketplace, the lobby. So it's the main entrance of the main building. This is a place where you can just hang out with your classmates, where you can work on your group assignments. There is internet connection in all the campus and in all the accommodations, so you can connect. You can call your family using Skype, or you can just grab a coffee in the bar that is at the lobby. So it's quite a polyvalent place on campus. Then on the bottom we have a picture of the library. So in the library you can find thousands of resources, books, DVDs, CDs, available for your class essays and your group projects. And if there is something that is not available at the library, you can request for that, and we commit that in around a period of 48 hours, we will get it to you in electronic format. Then if we go back to the top right, we have the other restaurant. It's a la carte restaurant. This is also included in your fees, so you can book this table at the restaurant at any time. And it's more kind of elaborated food. So it's to experience a different kind of cuisine than what is offered in the buffet of a la carte. All our restaurants, as you may already know, are student-run under the supervision of our professor. So you will actually be working at these different restaurants, serving, cooking, and also, of course, enjoying from the side of the client the nice meals that are served here. Then you have a picture of one of the main kitchens where students do their kitchen practice. And at the bottom there is a picture of a very nice room. This is not the student accommodation. This is our virtual hotel where you will have your practice in housekeeping. And also I would like to ask Halim about the accommodation. Well, you guys already know that most of our rooms are double rooms, unless you request a single room, which is offered under a first paid, first come basis, and it implies an extra fee. The number of single rooms are limited, so if you want a single room, you have to make sure to request it as soon as possible. But anyway, we recommend all new students to take double rooms to help them integrate faster. And well, I would like to ask Halim, how was your experience when you arrived on campus? Because I know some people are a bit afraid of sharing their room with someone they don't know, and they don't know how it will work, whether they will get along or not. So how was your personal experience about it?
Well, I would just like to share, I met my first roommate through the Facebook Les Roches New Students Facebook group, and we talked briefly and we clicked together, and we decided we want a room together for the first semester. It was a really good choice. He came from India, and we had similar, you would say, cultural backgrounds. I mean, Arabs and Indians, they share similar attributes, but we got along pretty well. We were in different classes, and we helped each other sort of to get adapted to the school and to the university and to the life in general. I would recommend, as Carolina said, to stay in a double room. I mean, it's I would say the accommodation department, they try to allocate students with similar languages, similar ethnical backgrounds, so they try to avoid any conflict, any upcoming conflicts that would arise in the upcoming semester throughout the semester. So they try to allocate, if you speak French, they would put like the French boys together maybe, or if you come from Spain, they would put the Spanish boys together. But not most of the time it happens, but that's the norm that it would happen. And I would also just like to touch on Dominica that you didn't catch for the BBA new coming students. It's for Peters from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're a girl, you will come in Peters from 2 or 3. And if you're a boy, you would come Peters from 1 or 4. I hope that answers your question. And for my second year, I stayed in Taco, which is a single room, because I like to stay alone. I realized that I can't really live with someone, not because anything happened, but I just wanted to see a different way of staying on campus. I kind of liked it, but it had its downside because it really gets boring from time to time. To be honest, you need someone to be with you, interacting, talking, socializing from time to time, even though you don't share that same classes, but you have someone there that, end of the night, you just share the same thing, you agree on some things that makes you relax and really gets you in a good mood, doesn't really keeps you anxious and very nervous and unease. It helps out, honestly, especially for first year. And third year and my fourth year, I stayed off campus. It was nice, but I didn't really get the proper experience of Les Roches because you don't really feel it till you live on campus. I mean, you go to class and then you finish, you go back home. That's it. There's no much interaction, not much socializing happening between you and the other students. And in fact, when you need help on homework or you don't understand something in class or you miss something because you were sick, you don't have that accessibility of students from your classmate as well as to just to ask a simple question or just to revise on certain topics you don't really get in class. So I would really recommend to stay on campus, and I'm going back to on campus for my final semester as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Halim. I'm just seeing some questions here that are related to accommodation, so maybe we can reply to them now. So Locavia, it's asking, do you get to know who your roommate will be before you reach there? Actually, from what I know, well, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you ask for a specific roommate and then you submit your request to your education counselor and you get the confirmation that it's okay and you can be allocated with this person, you won't know who your roommate is before you arrive on campus. Because we work on the allocation of students until the very last minute, and we may be changing them depending on how many students we get at the end. So normally, as far as I know, you will get this information upon your arrival on campus. Is it all right, Halim? Do you know if I'm wrong with that?
No, absolutely right. I mean,
like okay. Okay, and
it's absolutely, and there's nothing wrong about that. I would just like to answer according to the campus facilities, just to touch on about the gym. The gym is located in number 3, which is San Francois, and it's a gym that's on the ground floor, and on top it's just the dormitories for boys. So it's number 3. It's called San Francois. It's a really good, well-equipped gym, and they're changing and adding more equipment through the years, honestly. And I've been going to the gym very often from HO1, from BBA1, from my first semester. And I've seen a good
Also, we'll talk about the
decent
sports
improvement.
activities on campus a little, like in 2 slides. So be patient, and you will get more information about it. And so we have also Akila, who is asking, what if we don't get along with our allocated roommate? So do you know how it works in this case? Like how students should proceed if they have any issue with their roommate?
Absolutely, yes. From what I've known, from what I've seen, is that students, when they come across a conflict or an issue, they report it directly to the accommodation department. And Cheryl, on her behalf, if it's the beginning of the semester, when it's week 1, week 2, she can quickly arrange something. But if it's mid of the semester, it's really hard to do so. But if it's a serious issue, then definitely changes will be made, and according to the student's desire. It's very flexible in terms of if a serious issue comes out. I mean, there's no need to worry about that.
Okay, perfect. And last question related to accommodation from Ekaterina. She says, I'm a new student, but coming into Bachelor BBA 3. Will I be staying in a building for older students?
BBA 3, you are in HO2, so you're in a kitchen semester. You would be allocated most probably I would say the building, it's called not PFA, no, Residence Pré-Fleury A, B, and C for the girls. And for boys, you would be most probably located in Taco, which is number 4, where the taco restaurant is. And you would also not necessarily be allocated in these buildings, but the majority of them are located here. And the rest of them might be allocated, like the latecomers, for instance, or the ones that didn't really decide on a roommate, will be allocated sometimes in Cheminot. So Cheminot is number 7.
The campus also considers your age and the semester you're in, so they will try to allocate you with people more or less of your age. So in case that's the concern that you have. And
that's correct. That's correct.
Also, yeah, last question before we move on. This is not related to accommodation, but just to reply to it right now. Barum has asked if he arrives one day before of the official arrival days in Geneva and want to join the and want to come with Lagos party on the 5th in the airport. What's the procedure? Is it possible, or do I have to make my own transport to the campus? Okay, so if you arrive one day before the official arrival days, you can still join the Lagos transportation from the airport to the campus. Just make sure, I will highlight it later on as well, to fill out the arrival form and inform us about your plans to get to campus. So if you arrive one day before in Geneva, you will have to come back to the airport on the official arrival day and make sure that you join the group there to leave with the school bus to the campus, okay? But we'll talk about this later as well. So now we are going to talk about the outside the classroom facilities, so which are the leisure offer that you have on campus, and which are the facilities that you can use after class. So I think I will let Halim to talk a little bit about this briefly, and then we will move to the academical and social life on campus.
Thank you very much, Carolina. I've honestly, in my personal experience, I've engaged in quite a lot of extracurricular activities, such as sports. I did the rugby team for 3 semesters. It was pretty okay. It was pretty good. We played in the football field, and we played against the Valet Club, which is in Sierre, and we also competed against Glion, the other sister hospitality school, and as well as EHL. I also took part in Toastmasters. We opened up the Toastmasters public speaking and leadership group, or you would say a team, in Les Roches for the first time this semester, and we hopefully would like to continue it next semester and the following, and keep it a ongoing process in Les Roches, because it's very useful for people who are pursuing to enhance their public speaking skills. I would also say that outside the classroom, as I said, you can see there's a pool picture. There's 2 pools, in fact, in Les Roches. There's the big pool in the main campus, and then there's a small pool in my pronunciation might be kind of wrong, but it's Pre-Fleury C.
That's good.
It's a small pool. Thank you, Carolina. And you can swim there according to the opening timings. You can swim in the Pre-Fleury C pool anytime. It closes by 10 p.m. But the main campus pool opens by 4 or 5 after all the classes are finished, because students do tend to get distracted from the classroom windows to look down by the pool. So that's why they made it at that time. And it shuts by 10 p.m. And if you're coming on the summer batch intake, there are a lot of, the first weeks there are a lot of people going to the pool. There are a lot of pool parties, not a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, I'm not going to exaggerate, but quite a decent amount of pool parties ongoing in the pool, in the big party pool. Lastly is that the funicular, you can take it, you can go up to Montana in 7 minutes. You have the very famous ski resort there, which has a lot of restaurants, has a lot of cafes, it has 3 supermarkets. I know it might not sound that feasible, but I would say really to manage your time properly in order to get your things done. And I know in first semester students, might not get that much time, but I would just say to manage it properly and you would get everything done. It is hard at the beginning, everything is hard, but through time you would manage it perfectly, I would say.
And I see one question, a couple of students are asking about tennis courts. We don't have tennis courts on campus. But as far as I know, I think in Crans-Montana there are. Is it correct, Halim?
Oh yes, the tennis court. This year the new sports coordinator has managed to really meet up with the students' needs in terms of sports. Like the tennis court, there's a week they go up twice a week, I believe. They go up and practice tennis, and as well they do the tennis really is a big part of I would say the inter-campus sports day that happens in September, and you do compete against students from Lyon. And the swimming as well is also available up in the high school of Crans-Montana, as well as badminton and squash. And they started Zumba, I don't know if it's Zumba, yeah, sorry, it's Zumba.
Zumba as well.
Yes, and they also started offering it after school on campus as well.
You just have to make sure to check out the sports agenda when you are on campus and to register for the activities you are interested in. And if there is some sports that you would like to do are not offered by the school yet, you can go and inform the sports coordinator. And if he arranges a minimum number of people interested in this sport, he will make his best to bring the instructor if it's activity, or to create the sports team if it's a sport that needs to be played in teams. And for the academic life, Halim, I know many students have asked me through the Facebook group, like how's the balance between social life and academic life, like how much hours do you on average spend a week doing your homework, and how much is the workload? So I know that it really depends on the semester and on the program you are doing, but if you can give them just an idea maybe of how the first semesters are and how it changes when they go into more the business related semesters, when they are all over with their practical part of the semester.
Sure. First year students, BBA 1 students, I would say it's the easiest semester in Les Roches. You have a schedule that starts from 8 a.m. all the way to 5:30. You will have a lunch break at around most probably 11:30 to 12:30, sometimes 12:30 to 1:30. It's back-to-back classes. I know it's kind of tough, but the classes are pretty easy. If you're a fluent, easy English speaker and you're familiar with the English language, you get by very easily if you just pay attention to class. There's no homework in HO1, just class projects, group projects, assignments, and of course exams. And you're examined upon 2 subjects, I believe. HO2, and as the semesters progress, you do get into deeper topics about the hospitality industry. And HO2 it's very similar to BBA1. So BBA3, you're in the kitchen semester. You do have a bit more workload upon you since you have the kitchen project from the start, where you're designing a kitchen, from the equipment to the menu to the prices of the dishes and so on. BBA 4, I would say, it gets tougher and tougher. You start getting more into the managerial and the administration position in the hospitality industry. So you instead of taking rooms division administration, rooms division intro class, you take it rooms division managerial class, and you won't take, for instance, food and beverage operations. You would take food and beverage management. So there is more workload up. Not, I wouldn't say forced upon you, but you in class. She doesn't really give out homework, but it's up to your personal choice actually to go home and to revise extra and to really prepare for the next class. And for BBA, I would say it's when the really university life starts, because the classes, I mean, it's like almost like a lecture class, I would say. It's not a big lecture hall, but the way the teachers really interact with the students is quite different, because they teach like in a university where you have to take notes. They don't put up everything on the board. You have to be really attentive listener and really take notes properly. And it's up to you to go back home and to revise for the class, honestly.
Okay. In about languages, we have people asking whether they can choose more than one language. So if they choose French, for example, for extra language, and they want to study another one, I know there is an online platform that you can require to get the username and the password, and it's a language online course. But I don't know if there are other opportunities to join language classes at school that Halim may know better than me, maybe.
If you in first year students, you're required to take an additional language course. You can either take French, German, or Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
If you speak French, you can take Spanish. If you can speak German, you can take the other two, or vice versa.
Okay.
And in BBA 3 and BBA 4, for instance, if you did French 1, you can do French 2 and you can do French 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you took Spanish 1, then you can do Spanish 2, or you can do Spanish 3 as well for BBA 4.
Okay, so I hope it replies to your question, guys. Also, we have some people asking about the arrival test that they have. You know, when you guys start, you have the English and the math test. So I know some people are a bit concerned about it because they want to know whether it requires, especially the math test, any special preparation. So if you can, give them more details about how it is.
Oh yes, okay. The English test, all BBA 1 students are required to take the English test, and according to your results, each one is categorized according to academic English, or the academic English, or effective writing. And academic English are for people that are not really good with English, I would say, and really start to build more about the grammar, the writing structure, and more above all, just the English language in particular. I would say more concentrating on writing. Effective writing, I would say, is for fluent English speakers, and that scored quite high in the English test, and they focus more on enhancing your CV, for instance, your cover letter, and give you examples regarding the hospitality industry, for example, of how to respond to a client that has complained about a specific thing or an issue that happened in the hotel. And you would practice on responding to that. So everything they try to relate it to the hospitality industry, just to get you more familiar about and get you more about the feel that what's going to expect in the real world or in the industry itself.
So basically,
and for the math,
yes,
and and for the math test, all BBA 1 students are now required to take the math test, and you're just seeing where your level is according to in math. And the math class is linked with the Excel class that you do in BBA 1. And when I was in Nature 1, if you pass the math test, you don't have to take the math course. But now they've seen quite a lot of students failing math and not doing poorly in finance class or accounting class in BBA 3. So they set out the requirement of all BBA 1 students should take the math course that's obliged in BBA 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and do you know, did you have to pass this exam at the time you started?
I was pretty kind of familiar with Excel before coming to Les Roches, but if you know it and if you practice it in your own time, that's definitely a greater advantage for yourself, because you can be ahead of the class and you can understand faster in class, and you can not really prepare that much when it comes to tests, just like any other subject. But the extra class isn't that competitive or difficult, but it's pretty good, and it will help you for the BBA modeling class as well. A good foundation class, I would say.
So basically this test is not something that you are gonna pass or fail. As far as I know, it's meant to divide you into different classes. So if your
Yes.
level is a bit higher, you will be grouped with people who had higher level. So it's a matter of adjusting the studies and the learning process to your current level. So don't worry.
Yes.
It's not something that if you fail, you will be kicked out of the school.
No, don't
We
worry,
will
don't worry.
still accept you. So don't panic about it. This is a simple test. It's just to place you with the right group. And it's only for bachelor students. So
Yes.
if you don't have any special requirement on your acceptance letter that says that you have to pass any test, I mean for postgraduate or MBA students, it means that you don't have to do it. With the if you meet the admission requirements, it's already everything is set up for you.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
I just like to answer the people.
Sorry. Yeah.
I just like to answer the people who are questioning and curious about the operating system for your laptop. You can have a Mac.
Okay.
To be honest, you can have a Mac.
Sorry, Halim, if you don't mind, we leave it for the slide about the computer. Okay, I don't want to mix the because if not, we will repeat the same topic. So, guys, please wait a little bit. We'll talk about the computer policy later on, just related to academic life and balance of social and academic life. We had one question that is also asked very frequently about working at the same time as studying. So from my side, I will tell you first semesters are quite busy, especially you will have your duty for practice. And you may be required to work in the evening, so very early in the morning. And that's not compatible to a part-time job, because normally if you have a part-time job, you have to commit to go certain days at certain times. And your schedule will not be the same one every week. So also you will be quite busy with the studies, which are the priority. So I wouldn't recommend you to try to look for a job, for a fixed job, I mean, a part-time job. What you can do and what other students do, in Crans-Montana, on the weekends, there are several events like sports events or weddings or celebrations that need extra people to work for. And it's maybe 1-2 days work. You get paid by hour, and that's a way to make some extra money. That's especially on the first semesters. Maybe on the last semesters that you have more lectures and you don't have your practice, you may be able to commit to certain kind of part-time job. But for first semesters, that will be my recommendation. I don't know if Halim agrees with me.
Oh no, yes, I do. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Because in HO1, BBA1, I would say you're still not familiar with the place, the transportation, the way of life there. So you need time to get adjusted, to be honest with you. I mean, I really like the enthusiasm to work on additional time off that you get, but I would just say, as Karina said, you don't have a set schedule, so you can't really pace it according to your extra job that you might do in Crans-Montana. And as well, you might also work on weekends sometimes. Not every day, but you might do it twice a semester. So you don't know when it's going to be coming. But if they do post it on the billboards, each program has a billboard specifically, and they just update the students according to the news, especially for the operational years of BBA1 and BBA3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Melina is asking if it's necessary to speak French to get this kind of small jobs for the weekends. I will say it really depends on the job and where, if it's an international event hosting people coming from other countries, it might not be necessary. If it's something more local, it might be. So it really depends, each job, each company, each event looks people with different language skills and personal skills. So it's as any other job. It really depends. We cannot say that you will for sure need French or you won't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Le Bluche is in the French side of Switzerland, so it is the Francophonic region.
Exactly.
But as Karina said, it's not really a granted or that you speak French, you're gonna land the job and you're gonna get it. It all depends. It all depends what kind of job it is and what they're looking for and what's their set criteria.
Exactly. Okay. And last question before we move on to the next slide. Alice is asking, can MBA students take a language? Yeah.
I would, to be honest with you, I don't think MBA students can take a language course, but because their program is entirely different from the BBA program. But from what I've met from the MBA students, I have never heard them discussing about their language course. So
what I recommend you, because even if you don't have any language course included in your program, as I said, we have an online platform for language courses. So you should ask once you arrive on campus whether you can get access to this platform. So even though you don't follow presential courses, you can do it online, and it's for free for all Les Roches students.
And on addition to what you said, Carolina, this semester they launched a new interesting interactive way of learning a language where they go and meet up in the sports bar. For instance, you want to learn Spanish and you meet up with a friend or a person from Les Roches that's his mother tongue or her mother tongue is Spanish. So you talk to him, exchange, discuss, and you will slowly improve your Spanish language, as well as Italian, French, and I think German as well. So they do it twice or 3 times a week. So it's really a good opportunity if you want to improve your language, because it's open from BBA 1 up to MBA 2 if you want.
That's great. And also keep in mind that you will have classmates from any different nationality, any different country in language. So you can also arrange something among yourself, like if you feel like speaking or practicing your Chinese or your Russian, or you may approach someone and do this kind of tandem conversation classes. So yeah, you will have many opportunities to do it.
That's true, yes.
And dress code. Hot question. I know many of you are worried about the dress code, so we are going to give you some detailed information about this. So you may already know that the school, all the school students have to follow business dress code from Monday to Friday from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 in the afternoon. The reason behind this is not that we want to be a very strict school and we want to create you a big hassle. It's part of our standards of excellence. So you have to think that you are going to be surrounded and you are going to be experiencing the hospitality industry since the first moment that you step into the school. And you want to get you adapted to it very fast. The hospitality and tourism industry requires that people have a well-groomed appearance, and the professional etiquette is very important. So if you get used to dress like this for your day-to-day life as a student, once you get to a job, it's going to be very normal for you. And you will see that it will take maybe a few days for you to get used to this dress code, but at the end for you it will be like wearing a pair of jeans and a shirt. And also keep in mind that we have many recruiters and many important companies coming on campus every week. So the first impression is super important. And if they see our students well-groomed, wearing their suit with a very professional attitude, it helps you a lot to start your networking and your interaction with professionals in the industry. So this is the reason why we ask our students to follow this specific dress code. So what's business dress code? So you have to wear business suit. As you can see in the picture, for guys it's trousers and jacket. For girls can wear a skirt, a dress with a matching jacket as well. For the shoes have to be black polished shoes, or in case of boys, if you wear a dark brown suit, you can wear also brown shoes. For boys, tie. The tie has to be of a darker color than the shirt. The shirt always has to be white or pastel, never dark or darker than the jacket. For high heels, we recommend not to wear high heels higher than 5 centimeters. Keep in mind that you will be walking around the campus the whole day, so bring elegant but also comfortable shoes. especially for the girls that I know we like to be very fancy in our high heels, but also you have to be comfortable, and also you will be wearing this dress code for the whole day, so think about it before packing. That's important. In terms of jewelry, girls are allowed to wear up to 5 pieces of jewelry, keeping in mind the earrings, necklace, watch, bracelet, and ring. And for the boys, it's 3 pieces of jewelry, cufflinks, watch, and a ring. And also we have special considerations are made for religious attire and grooming. So if you need to cover your hair or you need to keep your beard growing, let us know. And in this case, we are a multicultural community, and we respect these traditions and all the religions. So just let us know, and we will make a special consideration in this case. And for the uniforms, the school provided you with the uniforms, are for free and are included in your fees. You will have a kitchen and service uniform. And for service, you will, well, maybe Halim can say it better. I'm afraid of getting
Absolutely.
mistaken.
Absolutely. For the first year students, BBA1 students, you're given the service uniform, which consists of 2 trousers for boys, black trousers, the gilet, yeah, you can see it in the picture, the second gentleman on the right-hand side, the gilet, which is sort of grayish blue. You're awarded 2 of these and 1 bow tie. Of course, the shoes and the white shirt, you have to bring them by yourself. And you can send your uniform to dry cleaning service in CDV. It's off charge. You don't have to pay anything for that. As well as the stewarding uniform, where you can see the 2 ladies are wearing them. They're the Ferrari suit or the stewarding uniform. You're given to them. Every time you have that duty, you have to go and collect it and keep it with you for the duration time that you're doing stewarding. I believe it's a week now. It was 2 weeks when I was doing it. And you just have to sign and to make sure that you return it when you come back. Second year students, BBA3 students doing the kitchen, you are awarded 2 pair of pants. As you can see, the lady wearing them, and the lady as well wearing the red necktie. And you're also given 2 kitchen shirts, as well as the buttons, as you can see, and the necktie as well. Dry cleaning service is also off charge for BBA3 semesters. And you can dry clean them whenever they get dirty, or every day if you want.
Okay, thank you, Halim, for the details. And there are some girls asking about the stockings. So you can wear transparent, dark, or gray fine stockings. That's fine. Also, you can wear more opaque for winter. When it gets colder, it's okay. And well, that's it about the girls. I don't think we have any other questions related to the dress code. Anyway, if you have any more questions at the end, there is dry cleaning facility. We'll talk about it later. Just hold on. But I advance that yes, there is a dry cleaning service on campus. Okay, so a smart dress code. So after 6:30 in the afternoon, you can wear more casual dress code. So you can dress as you normally are, dress. You can wear jeans, shirts, t-shirts, dresses for girls, skirts, flat shoes. Just keep it smart, be comfortable, use your common sense. There are some things that are not allowed, and we'll see now. But basically, yeah, it's the dress code that you can see on the picture. So just be comfortable, keep the standards of the hospitality industry. So for this reason, there are certain things that we don't allow. So we consider as inappropriate styles, visible tattoos, piercings, color hair, or bright color in the nail polish, or too much makeup. That's something that doesn't really match the dress code of the school. So in case you have any tattoos, you are not going to remove them, but just make sure to cover them. And if you have any piercings, make sure to remove them. Also, torn jeans are not allowed, and t-shirts with rude, sexist, or discriminated connotations. So before we finish with the dress code, is there something? Oh, Kalia, lipstick. Lipstick, it's allowed. Yeah. Maybe not like really black lipstick or brown lipstick, but like pale pink or even red, it's okay. And any other thing that I should add, maybe, Halim, that I may have forgotten?
You can, if just about the piercing part. I mean, if you have a small nose piercing or two or three additional ear piercings, you can still have them on. But when it comes to class times or when you go into the lobby during the class hours between 6:30 and 6:30 p.m., 6:30 a.m., 6:30 p.m., you have to take them off. But when you go back and you go to your room, you can put them back on. So you don't have to remove them for the entire semester. Like for the weekend, you can put them back on if you want to go out and see someone or just go anywhere. You can put it back on, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's it.
Okay, and Dominica, about nail polish. Yeah, you can use nail polish, but again, regarding the colors, make sure it's not like yellow or blue or something like this. Just a color that it's not really bright. You can use pink or red or something discreet. That's it. Discreet and elegant. Just keep the word elegant in your mind when we are talking about dress code about personal appearance. That's it. And you can, yeah, wear polish during service or kitchen duty. I believe that's okay as long as, yeah, it's not very bright or very colorful. The suit provided, as we said, no, suit, you have to bring your own suit for a business dress code. What is provided by the school are the uniforms for practice, for kitchen and for service practice. But for business dress code, you have to bring your own clothes. Okay? I hope that it replies to your question, Jens. Okay, some very useful information. What should I pack? In this sense, keep it like to the minimum. Do your luggage and then remove half of the things because normally half of them you won't need it. But I will let Halim to go through this list of useful items that you should bring and the things that you shouldn't bring.
Sure, sure. As you've heard everyone, Carolina said that the less, I would say, the better, because you have to take into consideration the closet size you have in the dormitory or in the dorms that you are staying in. They're not the same old cupboard that you have back home where it's unlimited. You can store as much things as you want, because you have to take note that you're gonna need to take some summer things, some summer clothing if you're a summer intake student. And because you're going to be approaching winter towards the end, so you're going to have to pack as well winter clothes, and they are bulky and heavy, and they take a lot of space in your suitcase. So you need to really pack accordingly. So I would say keep it to a minimum and get the things that you do use the most. And I would say get more casual clothing than formal clothing, because you're going to be using them on a daily basis. Going to your friend's room, getting something from the supermarket, having a quick bite somewhere, meeting up in the lobby for a study session. So keeping it more casual and more comfortable clothing, I would say to pack it the most, like hoodies, track pants, training shoes, or casual shoes. Not much of shirts and formal clothing. I mean, I do recommend packing that, but if you go out on a formal dinner with your classmates or an a la carte, for instance, where you're required to wear not semi-casual, semi-formal clothing, but just keep it to a minimum. And for the suit, I would say for the shirts, get 5 shirts, 6 shirts assorted with color, like 3 whites, 1 pink, 1 blue, and 1, for instance, I don't know, purple if you want, or a striped shirt. And for girls, the same thing. The utilities or accessories that you might want to pack is a hair dryer. If you want to pack a hair dryer, I do recommend, because the school doesn't provide you with one. Pack please adapters, because coming from international places, and Switzerland has the electrical adapter of Switzerland. It's also the same as Europe, but get an adapter because they're very useful and people tend to forget them a lot of times. The last but not least is that you don't have to get any hangers or any pillowcases or ironing board, because the school definitely provides you with these. I mean, if you like to iron your clothes every day, you can pack a small compact ironing handle with you and you can iron it in your room, I would say. But just
Mm-hmm.
the less clothing you have, the less problem you're gonna have with the arranging of space and storage and so forth. Because the things that you're gonna get ready from the first year, you're gonna keep on using them from the second year, third year, and fourth year.
Do you know how many hangers you get? Was Akila is
I
asking?
Yeah, no. I do remember. Matter of fact,
With,
it's 15 hangers. 15. It's
mm-hmm.
actually written on
So,
the because when you check out they actually count how many hangers you have in your closet, and it's 15 from what I can remember when I checked out last time.
mm-hmm. Okay. And Lydia is asking, so there is an iron available on campus because it's
Yes.
true. They're on the, it's not stated in the, I think the arrival guide, but yes, there are. So don't worry about the irons. Regarding winter, it gets pretty cold, especially depending on which countries you come from. It may go down to -5 easily in winter, but meaning November, December. Also, you have to consider that you are in the Alps, so it's gonna snow. So regarding winter clothes, as Halim said, bring warm clothes with you. Winter jackets will be enough. And then layers. What I recommend is bring a lot of layers so you can wear an underwear t-shirt, then your shirt on top, then your jacket, your coat, because then when you go indoors, it's really warm. And when you go to your room, the central heating is everywhere here in Switzerland. If you take the train, it's going to be warm inside the
Yeah.
train. And if you wear a very thick jumper, it's not really convenient because you have to be removing it and putting it down again. So it's better to bring several like thin layers and then being able to remove them or put them on easily depending on the temperature. A good pair of shoes, I think it's very important. So comfortable boots where you can walk around the campus during winter, especially if it's snowing. If you don't have them now, don't worry. I also recommend you to wait and buy it here because you will find suitable shoes here for the winter temperature. That's what I would recommend. If you have already something with you, like Melina that is coming from Sweden, I'm sure, Melina, you are used to this kind of weather and you will have some suitable shoes for this weather. And how many towels do you recommend to bring? I will say a couple of towels, just in case you have one dirty, you have one to replace. And as we will say now, you have the laundry service available and you can do your own laundry when you want. So with two will be enough. Or even with
Just to,
one, and then you buy a second one here, not to load too
that's
much.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Just to answer back, because how many towels that she could bring is, I would say like a body towel. Get another spare body towel as well, or you can just get one from back home and buy one when you come to Switzerland. And get a hand towel because a lot of students really tend to forget that the hand towel next to the sink because the school does not provide you with that one, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, I just want to say that the school offers lockers. There's a locker room for girls
Yeah.
and boys. So you can put for instance, your suit shoes there, and maybe, for instance, your jacket. You don't want to get ruined when you walk when it's a rainy day or when it's in a snowy day. So you can, let's say, for instance, you're living far on Cheminot and Rocaille, so you can wear your boots or you can wear your walking shoes or running shoes, and then go to the locker, change, and go to class. It's totally fine.
But you need a lock for that. So, and you can buy, no, if I'm not wrong, you can buy the lock on campus
Oh
or they
yeah,
can bring it
yeah, you
themselves.
can,
It was in
you
the
can.
list you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Okay, and which bags do you recommend we to bring to carry around with us on campus? You can bring a small suitcase, like the one you can use for the laptop, or a big purse for girls where you can put all your books and your laptop if you need it, or even a backpack. You have this kind of leather backpacks or dark backpacks that you can also wear with the suit, and it's okay. So whatever you feel more comfortable with, I will say.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
And let's see if they have something else. Yeah, walking in the snow with high heels is pretty uncomfortable and I will say a bit dangerous. So as we said, a pair of comfortable shoes, flat shoes will be convenient when it's snowing, or a pair of boots maybe. Are we allowed to give all casual types of clothes for laundry? We'll talk about it now. So let's go to the campus services, actually. So laundry. The campus provides the students with a key card that you can buy at the reception, and you can charge it there to use the laundry machines on campus. So in all the residences, you will have a washing machine and a dryer to wash your personal clothes. For the sheets, we have a dry cleaning service, so you can bring your sheets to the reception, and it will take around 2-3 days. You will get it back. For this, you have to pay, I don't know exactly how much for jacket and for trouser. Do you know more or less, Halim, what's the price?
Yes, for each suit piece, you charge 10 francs. So for the entire suit, trousers and the jacket, 20 francs. If your tie is what you call it, stained, it's another 10. It's so 10 francs per piece, I would say.
Exactly.
It is 10
Okay,
francs.
so that's for the suits. For the uniforms, as Halim already said before, it's for free, the cleaning of your uniforms. And also in case you want to have your personal, like casual clothes washed, you can pay for that. But I mean, you have this laundry service at the dorm, so it's quite easy. If you haven't done your laundry before, you can ask someone more experienced to show you how to use it. But you will get used very easily, and it's part of the student experience as well to take care of your own clothes. So you shouldn't worry about it. The only thing you have to make sure is to buy your own washing powder and keep it with you every time you need to do your laundry. That's it. And Poha, do we need to carry our books around the campus with us? As Halim said, you have the lockers, so you don't need to carry your books every day, the whole day around the campus with you. You can just take the books you will need for the day and then keep them in the locker and take the book for your next class. So you don't need to be carrying with all the load of books with you. And also many things, you will have a lot of electronic files, PowerPoint presentations that you can keep in your computer. So maybe you don't even need to bring your books to the class. You can bring your computer and have everything kept there. So it really depends on how you manage yourself. Okay, for the laptop. Yes?
I would just like to say something about the lockers. If you really want to get a locker, just sign up on the reception as soon as possible because they tend to run out, or they're really competitive because a lot of students really want the locker. So as soon as you come to the school, when you sign in or when you check in, I mean, get a locker, sign up at the reception. And for instance, for the people asking about they should carry their books with them around the campus or not. For instance, if you're staying in main building and you have a 15-minute break between your two classes, you can go to your room, get the other class's book, and come back to class. You don't have to carry it with you all the time, or you don't have to keep it with you in your locker. If you can manage to go to your room and grab the other class, the upcoming class's books, you can go and come back as long as you come to class on time. There's no problem with that.
Exactly. And Dominica, about bringing a notebook or the computer, I think it really depends on you, like what's easier for you. Some people prefer to write in paper and keep their notes in paper. Some others prefer to do it directly on the computer and then maybe to print the documents and highlight. So it really depends on your learning techniques. So whatever you prefer to do.
And a bit on about the teacher as well, because some of them tend to be picky about not having laptops open in class, because they do really think the first thing that all the students are they're chatting on Facebook or opening YouTube or not really paying attention in class. But other teachers don't really have a problem with that as long as you don't interrupt or bother the class, which I find a really good thing. I do tend to use my laptop from time to time in class, especially if you're taking notes.
Exactly. And Melina, yes, there are printers available in the school. I believe that you need your student card to print, right, Halim?
Yeah. So when you come in, the student card that you are given, has already encrypted the printing ID and the password. So when you come on school, you have the Les Roches website where you can check your grades, your classes, the presentations, the class notes, and everything. And as well, there's a portal for the internet for the printing, where you can just send your document you want to be printed and go to the printer and just scan your card, and it gets printed automatically.
Okay. Melina, yeah, about iPads, it's the same as the computer. So as Halim said, if the teacher allows you to bring your computer into class for notes, it will be the same as for the iPad.
Yeah, I mean, more and more students. Yeah, more and more students are actually getting more iPads and getting more tablets to class rather than laptops, and they just attach the digital keyboard and they can just type and take notes. So same thing applies for iPads and tablets as well.
Okay, and about the laptop policies, so you were going to talk about it before, at the beginning of the presentation, so now it's the moment to give this information.
Thank you for reminding me, Caroline. Thank you. I really appreciate it. For Mac users, go ahead. Don't need to worry about changing your laptop or buying a new one. You can get a MacBook. You can use it through your first semester. But for the second semester, you are really recommended to use a Windows computer or operating system. The school does, in fact, offer laptops with a Microsoft Office operating system, because you're going to be using the front office property management system. If you're familiar with it, it's called Opera. Not Opera, sorry, it's called Fidelio. Opera is another alternative version. And you're also recommended to use it in class, the Windows XP or Windows the Office operating system. So if you're familiar with a Mac, use your laptop, I would say, is getting a partition on your laptop. So having, for instance, if it's 120 gigabytes, having, for instance, 50 gigabytes for Windows, and the rest keeping it for your Mac. And you can alter between the two operating systems, which is the ideal option, I would say. That's what I did actually for the first students.
And so Apple, yeah, Mac computers need to have Microsoft installed. Yes, for bachelor students, I would say yes, because, yeah.
For the first year, I didn't see any difficulties about that. But for second year, it's recommended to do that, because if you want to use your laptop and not the school one, you're more familiar with it when it comes to the exam time, when it comes to taking down the information of the guests, or just typing in and getting used to your laptop. So just having it as a partition and as a Microsoft operating system in your Mac laptop, it's much easier than buying a new one or borrowing one from the school.
Yeah, and this you have to pre-install it before coming on campus. So IT doesn't install it in your computer. You have to make sure to have it before coming. For postgraduate and MBA students, I believe it's not necessary, because you will have other computer classes which don't require this. But please, in case you have any question related to this, because it really changes from semester to semester, contact help desk. You have the email address here, helpdesk@lesroches.edu. You have also the telephone number in your welcome packet. And also you can ask them directly about the ordering a new computer. So if you want to get a new computer from campus, you have to get in touch with them. I guess you will receive it when you arrive on campus, if not the first days for sure, but I cannot tell you exactly when. So for this kind of information, please contact them directly, because I don't want to give you any wrong details. Okay? Okay, so now we move on to pocket money and cost of living in Switzerland. Many of you, I've seen that were asking about it to Halim. So what we normally estimate that you will need for the month will be around 800 to 1,200 Swiss francs. Keep in mind that all the meals are included. And also, mostly of the activities have a special price. The activities organized for students on campus. You don't have to pay for the sports activities. This is included as well. So basically, this money is to cover your weekend activities, the meals outside the campus that you want to take, the dry cleaning that, as we said, you need to pay for that, and other daily expenses that you have. If So if you like to go shopping, to buy clothes, or whatever you like doing that it's out of the school fees, will be part of your pocket money, of your pocket budget. But as we say, this is an estimate and depends on your lifestyle, on your needs, and how much you travel, and how much you like to go out. So I will say try to keep on a budget for the first month, and I guess that after the 2-3 first months, you will know more or less what's the average money that you will need for the rest of the semester per month. I don't know if Halim wants to add something else.
No, perfect. You were gonna say what I was about to say. But all depends on your lifestyle and how you manage to spend your money. Exactly. But 800 to 1,200 is pretty much the average and the ideal spending expense in Les Roches. I mean, if you choose to get more, it's better off, and you're going to be living on a less tight budget. But if you're okay with getting 800 to 1,200, you would manage very fine.
Okay. So arrival and check-in. How it's going to work for your first days on campus and upon your arrival. So as we were mentioning before, it's very, very important that all of you fill out this web form, the arrival form, for us to know how you will arrive on campus and welcome you on the best conditions. So regardless whether you're arriving by train, by car, with the group coming from the airport, we need to know about it. So please go to the website. You can find the web form at www.leros.edu. You go to the top of the page and you click on the Accepting Students tab, and then you will find the pre-arrival information section and the arrival and pickup form. I will post the link on the Facebook group anyway to remind you about it. I will post it tomorrow. And yeah, as I said, it's very, very important for us, this information. So please make sure to submit it as soon as possible for us to organize all the arrivals on time.
Just to add one thing, Carolina. I mean, for everyone who's coming in, new students, especially BBA1 students, it's by filling out the arrival, I would say, document on the website. It's better off for you. It's not, you're not doing the school a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. So if you fill it on time, the school manages to get everyone's arrival timings in order, and manage the transportation to school perfectly without any issues. So it's up to you if you want to get to school on time and smoothly, or you want to be hassled when you arrive at Geneva Airport. So it's up to you. It's for your own sake.
Yes, exactly. And then Poha is asking, will be provided with lunch and dinner the day we arrive on campus?
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Of course. The moment you sign in your name, all the 3 meals are within your reach. Lunch, dinner, or breakfast. But one thing that some people were curious about is that if you eat dinner, for instance, in one place, you can't go eat dinner in another place. Sorry, I know I eat a lot too, but I can't do that. I have to go eat inside in one place. They do, as a matter of fact, if you're really worried about the food that they're going to be cooking inside, if you're a vegetarian, or you want to get more meat in your diet, or you just don't like certain dishes, they do display the dishes that are outside the restaurants. On every day, it will be changed, and it will be displayed outside. So you don't have to actually check in. I mean, scan your card and risk scanning your card, then you have to eat in that restaurant where you don't like the food. So they do really post the food outside before coming in, so don't worry about that. And the school does offer
a la carte, but for the buffet restaurant, keep in mind on campus that you have a range of many different options. You have options for vegetarian people. You always have a meat option, a salad bar, the desserts bar. It's amazing, and I would recommend you to try. But also to keep conscious about it, because you can gain a bit of weight, gain a bit of weight with that. And there is a lot of variety, really, to meet all the tastes.
Oh, and, yes.
Also, Akila is asking about halal food. Do you know if the school provides with halal food?
I'm a Muslim as well, Akila, but I don't think the school gets any halal food. But as we all know, if you can't really have it within reach of halal food, it is acceptable to eat non-halal food, as you know as well, Akila. But in Ramadan as well, I believe you asked this question about Ramadan. The school does provide you with futur bags there's sandwiches, juices, chocolates, and fruits offered by the school for fasting students during the holy month of Ramadan, as well as during dinner time or during lunchtime, you can get a plate and you can fill up the food and take it to your home or to your room and eat it during futur time.
Okay, and then going back to the arrival. Okay, if something goes wrong, what to do with the flight cancel or delayed or whatever. There is an emergencies number on your campus guide and so it looks like this. Also, you can find it on the website. Take note of this telephone number and keep it with you. And in case you have any issue with your flight, you can call. If you arrive not during official arrival days or not on the assigned time, you might look for your own accommodation. We have a list of hotels that offer special rates for our students. But anyway, in case something happens, just call us and we'll try to fix it and offer you a solution. If you come with your family, you will have to arrange and look for accommodation for your family, either in Geneva, if you are planning to stay in Geneva for a few days, or in Crans-Montana. Also, there are some hotels that offer special rates, not only in Geneva, but also in Crans-Montana. So if you don't find them in the information provided in your acceptance letter, let me know through the Facebook group and I will send you some links of suggested places to stay. But anyway, it's on the campus guide as well, so you can find it there. Can I be picked up by school at the airport? Any extra charge? Again, if you arrive during official arrival days, from I believe it's 6:30 or 7 in the afternoon until 5 in the morning, until 5:30 in the afternoon, there is a booth at the airport. So you have it here on the slide. So if you arrive by plane, we have a booth at the airport to welcome you upon your arrival. Then a bus will be there to drive you to the campus with your luggage. This service is for students only and it's offered for free. So I will say make sure to try to arrive during these days, because if it's the first time in Switzerland for you, it's going to make your life much easier. So you will arrive at the airport, you will meet us directly, and you will move to the campus with all new students. Okay, and you can also come by train depending on where you are coming from. You just have to follow the instructions again on the welcome packet to get to the train station. And then a bus will be waiting for you when you arrive. Just make sure to tell the reception and to fill out the arrival form for us to know whether we have to pick you up at the train station or not. And if you prefer to bring your car with you or come with your family by car, here you have the campus address, and you can find it also on the website and on the welcome package. For the check-in, so there are a few steps that you will follow during the check-in process, and I will let Halim to explain them a bit into detail.
For sure. So as soon as you arrive on campus, you're greeted with the help of the Les Roches students. We're helping the Les Roches staff as well with the check-in process, because it's a very stressful time during the check-in process, because you have a lot of BBA1 students, PGD and MBA students coming in, checking in, and getting their room and everything done. So you sign up your name, you get a check-in form, and you have to go to the following departments in the school. You have to go first to student services to get your picture taken and your student ID. Then you go to the accommodation department, where you're given the keys for your room and your roommate's name. And don't worry, these three places are together in one classroom, so you get all these three done in one go. Then you have to go to the accounting department to settle off your student fees or your bills or anything. Then you have to go, if I remember correctly, to the academics just to verify and to correct if there's any address that's wrong, any home address that's wrong, any postal code address, email address regarding your parents or your sponsor. And then then you have to go to the IT department to set up your laptop to configure it with the Wi-Fi, with the Wi-Fi network and the printing portal with the school. And lastly is the books, which happens the day after. It's every program has given a specific time. I think it's 2-hour window where you're supposed to go and pick up your books. And then when you're done from the check-in form, you have to get it signed. Don't worry, they will guide you through it in more detail when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sign it from every department to make sure that and to prove that you've done that. And then you have to slip it inside the I would say the pigeon box for the student services to see that everyone did their check-in process properly.
Mm-hmm. One question, sorry to interrupt you before we move to other information. Odila is asking whether there are specific times to do the check-in. So do you do it straight when you arrive from the airport with the school bus, or there is a specific day and a specific time to start the check-in? I think it depends on the classes, right?
Yes, so as I said earlier, so if you're coming to the airport and you're basically escorted with the school from the airport to the school by the van or by the shuttle bus, when you arrive to school, you right away start the check-in process, and it takes, I would say, half an hour, 1 hour max to get everything done. So it happens on the same day, not at the airport. The airport is just a welcoming gesture that the school offers to the new students to feel them more welcomed and to feel them they're more comfortable with their stay and to ease any situation that they have that they've been through, and to make their stay and their entire check-in process, I would say, much easier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Something else you want to add to the check-in process, Halim, or we move on?
Yeah. We'd just like to say as well, the check-in process does include the practical uniforms for the BBA1 and BBA3 students.
Mm-hmm.
So you are required to get your measurements for your vest and for your trousers for the girls and boys. They are allocated in the East Wing, if I remember correctly, and they might change from every semester. But the measurements are taken and tailored to your fit, and you will receive them within a week or 2 times, in a week or 2. And same thing goes for the BBA3 students, where you have to go and pick out which practical uniform best suits your size. So if it's small, medium, or large, and as well as the kitchen shoes.
And it's the same for the PGD, right? They also get their uniforms.
Yes.
So basically, it's for all the programs that have
practical schedules.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The storage room, because Kalia was asking me about the luggage when or their personal belongings when they leave for holidays, like for Christmas holidays. I know there is a storage room that students can use, and I believe it's for free, right, Halim?
The storage room is actually, they do, if you're staying, the longer you're staying, the more that they're going to charge you. So if you're storing a bag,
really?
They would.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was for free.
No. I think they did have that 3 semesters ago. The semester that I came, they implemented the new storage service.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're staying if you're leaving for the entire internship semester, which is 6 months, you're gonna have to pay in advance for the 6 months. So one box would take up one like normal standard size box. So 50, 40, 30 for the height, length, and width. Would say about 20 francs a month, and as well as a normal size suitcase. So if you have to pay for 6 months, then if you do the math, then it's 120, I believe. That's why I'm saying do pack accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a friend that's staying off campus, or you're doing an internship and you already found a house in Switzerland, for example, or you manage to ship your belongings to, for instance, you're doing it in France or Germany or some country nearby, then you can manage something out that you avoid paying storage costs.
Mm-hmm. And Catalina is asking if they have to empty their room every time they go back home on holidays.
Oh yes, because when you check in, there's also a checkout procedure that happens where you have to clear out your room, pack everything, because it's basically it's like a hotel. You check in, then you check out, but the duration between the check-in and the checkout is much longer. So you do have to check out and take all your belongings and pack out because every semester the rooms change.
Yeah. Melina is asking, even for term break? No, for like 10 days break,
No,
you
no,
have to
no.
keep your room. And
Home
yes, it
stays
changes
yours.
every semester because as Halim says, you check out and then you check in when you start the semester, the following semester. So yes, it will change. For October break, no need to take your things. It's just around 10 days break. It's same as for Easter. So you keep your room, you keep your belongings in your room. It's just for big breaks or for internships when you go on your internship that it's for a whole semester that you are not going to be on campus. Okay, bank and phones. You guys were already asking about this as well. So for these services, you will have a representative on campus during the first days. So there will be representatives from different banks and from different phone company services. And you will be explained which is the procedure to open a bank account, which documents you need, what's the most appropriate bank account that you can open. But anyway, for the first weeks, I will recommend you to bring around 300 francs because it's normally what they ask you to open a bank account. You have to credit some money into the bank account when you open it. For mostly of the banks, you need the Swiss resident permit to open the bank account, except it's for the post offices that this is more functional for international students. But I don't know if there are some banks that they may do an exception for Lagos students. Do you know, Halim, how it works? Do students really need to wait for the residence permit to open a bank account, or is there any exception?
No, the bank accounts, as you said, there are booths that are on that during the first week of when the school opens. So there's UBS and the post office and Credit Suisse that are on campus. So you can open an account and you pay the 300 franc deposit in UBS. And after then after 8 weeks or around a month, you do get your B permit, and that's when you have officially you open your bank account and you can use your card. And of course, and from what I can remember, I did use my bank account and did manage to buy things from my card before I got my B permit.
Okay, so yes, basically just follow the instructions of the representatives that go on campus and they will help you out with that. Anyway, for the first days, it's more convenient that you bring some cash with you, and also you can bring a traveler's check or a credit card with you that you can easily use in case you need some money for the first days until you set up your bank account and you are able to transfer some money to your Swiss bank account. And for the phones, the same, as I say, there will be representatives to introduce you to the different options. You can have a phone contract, but again, you will need the residence permit to get a phone contract, and you will have to commit to a certain minimum of time. Normally, it's 18 months. Or you can get a pay-as-you-go card, so you just load the credit into your card, and you use it until it expires. Like probably for you guys, this will be the most convenient option. But again, you will receive all this information and you will decide by yourself at the end. It will really depend on how much you use your phone and for which kind of calls you need it, whether you need more internet speed or less. So also keep in mind that you have Wi-Fi on campus and you can connect your smartphone to the Wi-Fi as well. And I don't know if in this sense, Halim have any specific tips about the phones?
No, I would definitely agree with what you said. I would opt for the pay-as-you-go, so you don't have to really open a bill account unless you know you're going to be staying for 1 year at least in Switzerland. So if you're doing your first semester there and then you're doing your internship there, because there's a lot of issues happening with students' contracts and students' bills regarding them leaving for internship, then coming back, because when bills do pile up in Switzerland, they really take into account how many days go by when you didn't pay them, and then students end up paying large amount of fines just because of that very silly mistake. So do as pay as you go. It's a very simple recharge. You recharge your phone as any other country, and then you subscribe for the data plan, and then whenever the credit expires or runs out, you can charge it anytime you want. And then when you leave for the country, it's still working. but there's no bills or there's no additional cost that you have to pay.
Exactly.
And when you come back the following semester, you might have a better vision and a better perspective of what you're going to do the following semester and the following that. Then you can maybe manage to get a bill or a contract service. And for the which service provider, I would say I would go for Swisscom. I mean, I've been using it. Honestly, it's been going really good. All the network providers do have some problems when you're living up in 2,000 meters or 1,500 meters. So the service or the antenna does tend to get a bit weak from time to time.
Mhm.
It's common in all of them, but I would say our Swisscom so far was pretty good.
Mhm.
I would go for Swisscom.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I didn't do an advertisement for Swisscom, but that's all I can say from my perspective.
So we are reaching the end of the presentation. I know some of you are already asking. Obviously, the more questions you have, the longer it gets. So this is why it's getting that long. But we are here to respond to your questions. So I hope you are not being bothered by the length of the webinar. Okay, one last question about the internet. How would you describe the quality of the Wi-Fi on campus?
The Wi-Fi internet does get slow from time to time in some dormitory buildings because the antenna, from what we discussed this semester with the IT manager, Mr. Aston, he is installing new internet and cables to I would say strengthen the internet connection between all the students. And I would say I have no troubles accessing it in the main campus, but sometimes in dormitories it does tend to get a bit slow, where some users are using more internet than the other one. So, but they're really working on it. But all in all, it's really good. It's really strong.
Mm-hmm. I'm just responding to a few questions here. Okay. Are there any restrictions in downloading content?
I believe that you cannot really
Etc.
some sites are blocked. I think uTorrent and the torrent website are blocked. And if you're trying to if you're trying to download any software that encrypts the firewall, it is blocked as well. So there's a really strict on these websites.
Okay, but anyway, streaming should be fine as long as you don't download any illegal document. You can watch streaming content.
That's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so as I said, we are reaching the end. So here, some ways to stay connected. You still have more than 1 month to go before your arrival on campus. So there are a few ways to stay connected with us if you have more questions, and also, as I said, to start interacting with your future classmates. So as many of you know, there is a Facebook group for new students. You just have to go to Facebook and look for Les Roches New Students Switzerland. Also, you may have received some emails with the invitation to join the group, and you have the link here about the chat. So you can click on it directly and join the Facebook group right now. Also, you will stay in touch with me, with your new classmates, and you will get all the last minute information before arriving on campus. Regarding social media, you can also follow us on YouTube, where you will find some videos about student life, about the programs, student interviews. You can follow us on Twitter, where you can stay up to date with the latest hospitality news. We have also our Facebook fan page, where you can check all the different updates about the school, student life, hospitality, etc. We have also the webzine, our blog, where you can check all the alumni and student and faculty stories, so all the articles are written by them, and it gives a very good overview of what's like being an alumnus or living on campus. And we are also on Instagram, so you can also start tagging your pictures with the hashtag LRB students, because you are already a student, and you can share your pictures in there. I will repost our favorite ones. And that's it. So thank you very much for listening today, for attending the webinar, for being so active. We have received a really huge number of questions. Normally this webinar is quite popular, but I think these are the highest number of questions I've ever received in this kind of webinars. And thank you very much to Halim for all the helpful information that he has given. I'm sure the students really appreciate it.
I really hope so. I really hope so. Thank you very much, Karina, for your keen effort and for your time as well and for your guidance. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone gets a proper understanding about Les Roches and to really prepare properly before coming and pack accordingly. And I wish you good luck in the coming time and wish you a very, very pleasant and relaxing holiday and definitely wishing to see you next semester on campus.
Yeah, you will see Halim around the campus for sure, and we'll have the chance to say hello. And thank you very much for taking the time of your vacation, because you guys have to know that Halim is on holidays and he has been as nice as to take some of his holidays time to help you out. So that's again very, very appreciated. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to go on Facebook and post them. And also, if there is something more academic related or related to admissions or finance, you can reach directly your education counselor. So bye-bye. Hope that you have enjoyed your presentation and see you very, very soon in Switzerland.
Thank you. Goodbye.